Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope everyone is doing okay. So today I want to speak about faith. I want to speak about how God strengthened my faith, how He taught me about faith, and how He showed me exactly what I needed to see and to know in order for me to have full faith on Him. Like complete faith. So it was a matter of I had to admit to myself and admit to God that I'm very weak in my faith, like in the sense that I could not really believe that God can. Of course, I mean, I believed in God. I knew that He had power, but if something for me wasn't possible in human means, then I struggled to believe that God can make the impossible possible. Like, I relied on my own strength, I relied on human strength, and I struggled to rely on supernatural strength. Yes, that's it. That's what I was trying to say. So I struggled to believe in that, in supernatural strength, and that God can do things that are impossible, as much as the Bible says it. But and I'd see it in the Bible, especially in the Old Testament. But I'd struggle to believe that it is possible even in my own life. So I had to confess that with God and be vulnerable with Him and let Him know exactly what's going on with me. And I asked Him, like, Lord, please strengthen me. I need strength in that part of my Christian walk, because it's very important in the Christian walk. In fact, it's basically what the Christian walk is about, And so I spoke to God about it. This was earlier on in my walk with Christ. Okay, so fine. I had exams around that time, so I was writing my exams, and then fine. I wrote well. I wrote that paper very well. Everything was just great, and I was very confident in the paper. I was like, "Oh my God, it was great! God, thank you!" I was thanking the Lord that it was great. So obviously in my results, I expected, a good mark. So fine, I continued praying to God about this, about what I was speaking about, my weak faith. Okay, results came out, and to my surprise, I had failed, and I was shocked. I was like, Lord, what are you doing? Like, what is this? I failed. Like, what in the world is this? And so, of course, I really, I was really down. That broke me. That just broke down my spirit. And of course, the devil came pouncing at me, telling me that you see your God, this God that you're always speaking about and praising, and saying all sorts of good things about Him. Look at Him, He's not for you. The devil just came at me, and I was really it really cast doubt on me. I was like, Lord, I don't know anymore. I was really relying on you here, and look at what you've just done. What do you want me to do? What is this? Okay, so I just prayed. I just got on my knees and I prayed. I said, you know what, Lord, please let me know what you want me to do. I'm caught between two options here. I don't know whether I should hold out in faith and just believe that you will do it, and that you will turn this around. And that you will just work this out, and you will make the impossible possible. Because the mark is there, the fail is there, and marks don't change. But if you want me to believe that you can do it, you can change this mark, let me know. Or if you want me to just move on and believe that you're working this for my good, I'm also okay with that. But then I'll be okay with it, but let me know so that I can be okay with it and know that this is from you, Basically, that was my prayer, and that if you want me to just believe that this is your will and you've got a greater lesson behind it or whatever, just please let me know. So fine, I said that prayer. And after that prayer, my spirit, in fact, the Holy Spirit spoke to me, because I felt everything in my spirit tell me. I felt everything in my spirit say, I need to hold out in faith. I need to have faith that God is going to turn this around. I need to have faith that God is actually going to do the impossible possible. I need to believe that God is going to part the Red Sea. So everything in my spirit, I felt so much peace after that. I felt my spirit telling me that, let me just leave it to God. God is going to change this. Okay, so that's what I did. I was like, okay, Lord, I can hear you telling. I know I hear exactly what you're telling me, and I'm going to do exactly that. So I got on. I was praying, I was fasting. I was praying to the Lord to change it, to make a way, but to change this, to change the situation. I have faith in Him, because I was saying to God, you know what, Lord, in human means this is impossible. It has never happened before. Well, not in my institution. It has never happened. A mark doesn't change. If you failed the final mark, if it's fail, it's fail. If it's pass, it's pass. It doesn't change. So I was like, so Lord, I know that in human means this is not possible. I cannot do it. The HOD cannot do it. The SRC cannot do it. Nobody can do it in the school. But if you can do it, only you can do it, and I will believe that you can do it. And so I held out like that. I just hung on to the Lord like that. I remember the following week, we were told that we are being given an opportunity to rewrite. I was like, okay, Lord, this is not a coincidence. You told me to hold out in faith, and then you're going to change the situation. So for that in itself was a miracle for me to say that, oh my goodness, we are told that we are going to rewrite the paper, and it doesn't really happen. Things like that don't usually happen in exams. It's tests, but in an exam, a fail is a fail. So I'm like, okay, Lord, thank you for this miracle. So I was studying, expecting to rewrite this paper. And later on that week, we got told, we were sent text on the academic group that said that we need to go check our marks. There are some people that have been whose marks have changed. There's some people whose marks have changed, and that we need to go and check. I got on my knees at that time and was like, Lord, I am being told that there are people whose marks have changed, and I pray that I have hope and I have faith that I'm amongst those people whose marks have changed for the better, that I have passed. And you had told me to stand in faith. You have told me that you will part the Red Sea for me, because at that time the Lord was sending me scriptures, even especially Exodus 14 was speaking to me so much at that time. And I remember the Lord even sent me Daniel 6. With the Daniel and the lion's den. So I was praying those scriptures, fasting and just leaning on those scriptures so much, and just leaning on God and hoping. So when I got on the academic website to check my marks, what? The marks had changed, guys. All of a sudden I passed. So that was such a great miracle. I was like, Lord, and that was the module that I needed to pass in order to graduate. I wouldn't have graduated if it wasn't for that. So that's why it was so deep for me. So, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. I was praying to the Lord. I was thanking the Lord. The marks changed. So that's how the Lord taught me about faith. I was like, Lord, if I didn't know before that you are a limitless God, that you are not limited by our limits, you are not limited by the boundaries that have been set for us, but you go above those boundaries. You are supernatural. You are not limited by anything. You go above. You're not limited by university policies. You're not limited by the country's policies. You're not limited by the deans. You're not limited by the authorities. You're not limited by the HODs. You're not limited by the vice chancellors. You go beyond. You go beyond limits. You are not limited. Now I know you have done it, because this has never happened before, but it happened, but it happened. God did it for me. So I was so ecstatic about that. I could not, I was just out of my depth. I was in awe. So that's how the Lord taught me about faith, and he really strengthened from there on. What I love is that I hold on to that so much, that lesson. And I feel like the Lord had to teach me in that way. We never really realize what we are praying for and asking for. We never realize the depth of what we are praying for, because we always expect God to just give us a handout. I think when I was praying that God strengthened my faith, I was just expecting him to miraculously change my perspective, to change my thoughts, or to but he had to teach me. He had to take me through an experience. I had to experience it. He had to show me how he does things behind closed doors, behind the scenes, how he does it. So he had to take me through it. He had to give me a visual representation of him working, so I had to see it. And the Lord took me through it, and I saw it right in front of me. I saw him work. I saw him perform a miracle right in front of my eyes. And that's what the Lord did. And I take that with me every day. He had to test me. He had to teach me. With my own experiences, not with another person's, but with my own experiences. And I'm so grateful, and I thank God for that. That was amazing. And I carry that with me in everything. Whenever I am troubled by a situation, I carry that with me, that Lord, you can change things. It strengthened my faith. It strengthened, oh my goodness, I always reference that I've seen you, Lord, part the Red Sea for me. I've seen you. I didn't just see it in Exodus 14 with how you did with the Israelites, but I saw how you parted the Red Sea with me, how you parted the Red Sea for me. So it was just amazing, and I just thought I should share that, and it's not to say that like the Lord can just turn can like he does that for in all our situations, that if something has happened, it will change. Sometimes he doesn't change it, but sometimes he just works it together for your good. Like sometimes it just plays out in your favor, but then we just need to look to God and like rely on him and rely on his power, on his sovereignty, on just rely on everything that he is, to just do things and work things out for us. He is for us, he is not against us, and he loves us, and he really just wants us to look to him and to remain in him in all our troubles, because I know that none of our misery, none of our pain, none of our troubles is meaningless. God means everything. God has a purpose for everything. And so what I've just told, that was God's purpose. He wanted to teach me about faith. He wanted me to see it. Like the fail, he gave me the fail on purpose so that I can see it. I can see how he turns it around and makes it a pass, So thank you guys for watching this. I just really, really wanted to share that with you. I know it's a lesson about faith, but it's also a testimony for me. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening, and I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.